Good morning. Goodness gracious, we are glad you are here on this spectacular Cincinnati October morning. Does it get any prettier than this? I don't think so. So I am doing the introductions today. My name is Jenny Burkich. I have to introduce myself. We are pleased to once again have J J JioDucci on the platform with us today. We are also going to say howdy to David Kisor, who is at a conference today. And in his stead, we have Michael Barrett that has moved up from back here. He's moved up and he'll probably get a whole lot more money, too. So if you're coming to us from the internet, welcome. We are, again, glad that you are here. So let's get this party started.
Yeah. Joyful today. Said I woke up to the summer shining through, calling all my friends, asking what's the mood. Feel a little different on something new. Today. The only road I'm walking is the one I pave. Catch me sitting in the summertime for shade. Today. This is the day that the Lord has made. And I ain't gonna let it slip away. Gonna be joyful today. I'm gonna be joyful. Today's the day. I'm gonna be joyful. I'm gonna be joyful. Today. Get the feeling that you get when you get new kicks. Bell ringing last day, singing New Year. High-fiving everybody, but we out of here. Today. So fast, life comes and goes. Make it last, best slow your roll. They don't take it, it's a choice you gotta know. But today's the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. And I ain't gonna let it slip away. I'm gonna be joyful. Yeah. I'm gonna be joyful. Today's the day. I'm gonna be joyful. Yes, I am. I'm gonna be joyful. Today. I'm gonna be joyful. Yes, I am. Today.
Kim.
Good morning, New Thought Unity Center, Greater Cincinnati. How y'all doing?
Good morning. Great,
I said, how are y'all doing?
Good morning. Great.
You doing okay?
Yes.
Do you feel like being joyful today? Do you feel like making a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands?
Yes.
Do you feel like serving the Lord with gladness?
Amen.
Hey now, we're in the house. Amen? Amen. Our weekly affirmation is, I'm going to say it once and I'm going to ask you to look at the monitors and let's say it together with joy. I pray daily for the highest and greatest good of all. Let's do this. I pray daily for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you. As we center here today, and into the contemplative part of our service, I invite you, those at home, those who are traveling and watching, and those right here in this sacred place, to go deep within and know Spirit dwells within you, and know prayer is an inside job. I invite you to know that the oneness of God is not out there somewhere. God lives in you. God embraces you and surrounds you. God hears your thoughts. And your thoughts are indeed prayers. Knowing on this day, I know that some people are feeling a bit forlorn. Some people are feeling, well, I'm still unemployed, or, well, I don't know what tomorrow holds. But see, Spirit knows who holds tomorrow. Spirit holds tomorrow, and Spirit said, be like the birds in the field. Be like the sparrows. Be concerned about this moment. Because the gift of the goddess is the present of the presence. Amen. I pray that you realize and you embrace the joy of the now.
Stand and sing with us, won't you?
Thank you for this day. The words are on the monitors. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Wow, this healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Wow, thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Wow, this beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Well, thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Well, thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. And it's now time for our meet and greet. So if you're comfortable with hugging, hug. If not, handshakes. This meet and greet.
Wave. And if you're watching us online, please tell us where you're watching from and send us a note. We'd love to recognize you.
Woo! I feel a good vibration, healing and transformation all through this congregation. Must be unity. The experience is our mission. Universal wholeness is our vision. I am who I am. It's my decision. Must be, must be, must be unity. NTUC unity. Yeah. Please be seated.
So what we would like you to know is that wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are welcome here. And if you would say with me our mission and vision statement. Our mission statement is, in God, we are an inclusive, abundant community, experiencing love, transforming lives, and serving others. And our vision statement, we celebrate a world of harmony and oneness, a place of loving stewardship, sacred connections, and pure joy, where all are welcomed with honor and respect. Wherever you have been, wherever you are now, whatever path you walk, you are welcome here. If this is your first time or first time in a long time, and you have any questions about the center, we have a newcomers table in the back, and Regina is back there. She would be happy to give you a packet about the center, which includes a gift. And if you have any questions, she'd be happy to answer them for you. Again, welcome. We're grateful that you're here.
We have a few announcements, and the first one is, as you know, this month is our anniversary month. And JJ is doing our talk today on prayer, and Susanna Whitrock will be speaking next Sunday, and she's doing the 12 Powers of Man. Then on the last Sunday in October, the 5th Sunday of the month, we're having a Halloween costume party. And it's an all-music Sunday. Ooh. David will be tailoring the songs to a Unity Halloween theme. So please wear a costume, and we look to see you then. No, it's not mandatory.
You don't have to wear a costume, but
No.
it adds to the fun. There's also a trunk or treat. This year, NTUC will be joining the Cincinnati Recreation Commission Walnut Hills Trunk or Treat event. So bring your ghosts and goblins to the Bush Recreation Center at 2640 Kemper Road on Saturday, October 30th from noon to 3. Anyone from NTUC who would like to join in decorating their trunk, please see or email Mary Casaba at marycasaba@gmail.com, or see the sign-up sheet on the welcome table at the back of the sanctuary.
Angel's Wings Resale Shop. They're having a 50% off of all Halloween items. And they have a lot of new inventory of fall and winters. Plus, there's plenty of home goods, from dishes to furniture. Shops is open from Friday from 10 to 2, Saturday from 10 to 4, and today from noon until 3. And they have some wonderful stuff over there at great prices.
And the Gallery of Grace gift shop is open today? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Check out the large selection of unique items, and don't forget to pick up your daily word. It's open Sundays after service until 1 o'clock.
And those are your announcements for today.
And now, if you would quiet yourself, we'll have meditation.
quiet your mind and center yourself, knowing, absolutely knowing, that you are so loved, that you are so free and so blessed. No matter what the illusion of circumstances may be for you, for me, for the collective we at this time, we are blessed and loved and adored by Spirit unconditionally. As we come back together, remembering the I am of I am, knowing whenever you say I am, that is our unification with the One. Giving honor and thanks for the gift of your presence. And so it is.
like to welcome to the platform Jean Middleton, who who will sing the Lord's Prayer while Althea does the metaphysical interpretation of the Lord's Prayer.
Presence of divine love and light that lives within us and within all life. We invoke the powerful, creative nature of all that is sacred and holy. We embrace the healing essence that is the kingdom of heaven within us. We accept our greatest good as we align with our divine nature. Knowing that the affairs of our lives reflect our evolving consciousness. Each day we receive great blessings from within and throughout all the activities of our lives. We accept the divine nature of all things and all people, including ourselves, as we move away from judgment and towards greater awareness of divine presence. We shall be vigilant in expressing and experiencing the oneness with all of life. As we are learning to live without fault-finding and suffering. For we accept the consciousness of divine perfection with all its power and glory, right here, right now, and forever. And so it is. Amen.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. All right, Kim. Did I do it right? Did I pull it down all right? Is it? Okay. Thank you. Thank you all. I always get to pick the music when I come here. And it makes me feel good because I get to play. And the musicians, they don't mind playing with me. Oh. It is my honor to be here with you again today. As I've shared with some of you before, New Thought Unity Center is where I started my faith walk in New Thought more than 30 years ago. Hey, Deb. And I'm so happy whenever I am blessed to be of service here, because this is my second New Thought home. I am the Inclusion and Social Justice Minister for Center for Spiritual Living Greater Cincinnati. And my dream of dreams one day, very soon in the coming year, that we will all be able to worship together as one New Thought just for a Sunday, to praise and make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Brother David, my brother from another mother, you can see I'm wearing hair similar to his in his honor in his absence. And I do believe when I was walking in the vestibule, someone mistaken me for David. He's a little taller. I'm better looking. So, all right now. Praises. So today I want to talk to you about the power of prayer, God's wireless internet. But before I get started, I always like to start with one of my favorite Psalms when I'm here, Psalm 19:14. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, dear Lord. Amen. So many of us are students of unity or science of mind or other New Thought movements, New Thought faiths. So when I'm speaking of prayer, many of us have learned from the great Reverend Sister Myrtle Fillmore about affirmative prayer. The founder of religious science, Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes, studied for a while with the Fillmores. And we do affirmative prayer. So today I want to talk about Reverend Sister Myrtle Fillmore. She's not on this plane. She spiraled up a long time ago. But something tells me every Sunday she kind of drops in on a unity center around the world. Amen. Something tells me that she knows that the legacy carries on and has gotten better and better with each generation. So Myrtle Fillmore was born right here in Ohio. How many of you knew that? She was born up the road a piece, a little north of Columbus, about 2 hours, 20 minutes tops from Cincinnati, in a little town called Pagetown. And she's the seventh of 8 siblings. And some of you may have heard this story before, but I want to share with you that Myrtle was not her given name. Her name was Mary Caroline Page, but she didn't like that. She decided her name was Myrtle. And she asked that everybody address her as such. And they did. You know that quote from Rumi, your children are not their children, they have their own thoughts? Early on, Myrtle had her own thoughts. See, she grew up in a very orthodox Methodist environment. She was told that you do this, you're going to get in a little hot water with God. And one day she asked her mother, she said, Mom, maybe she didn't say mama, maybe she said mother. I'm giving her a little soul up in here. Mom, what kind of God is judgmental? What kind of God is condemning? So Myrtle was seeking answers early on, seeking to understand her upbringing and what she was being taught in church. Now, I believe whatever you believe, as the Christ said, it is done unto you as you believe. So if you are a Methodist, a Baptist, recovering, I'm on a 12-step program. I'm still on step 2. So if I slip into it, y'all, I'm sorry. It's all right with me. Because Myrtle and Charles opened the doors to all paths. Wherever you were and are on your faith walk, Unity welcomes you here because you have something to offer in terms of your spiritual self, and we have something for you to receive. Yes? So, though Myrtle questioned it, she didn't question faith. But what she did question is, I have tuberculosis. My family's sick a lot. I've been told that it just runs in the family. That's just the way it is. That's it. So she studied up at Oberlin for a year, which is and was at the time enough to get her credentials to head west to teach. Women couldn't go to colleges for years back then or be professional students like I am. I think I'm going to go back next year for my PhD. I'm not sure. Okay, maybe not. Year after next. But she couldn't do that. But she went west. Now, mind you, she had these illnesses. She had stomach problems. She had tuberculosis, the lungs. She had all this going on. But I believe her faith in God, not necessarily in what she was taught, but in knowing that there was a higher source, kept her moving. She met Charles in Texas when she headed to the Southwest. Even though they got married and she was sickly, she still had 2 kids. She kept moving. That's a light within people that you cannot burn out. That's something inside of you that says, I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to keep moving. I'm in pain, but I'm going to put some pep in my step and some pride in my stride, and I'm going to keep on going. But one day, somebody kept telling her, you know, there's a metaphysician by the name of Reverend E.B. Weeks speaking. By that time, they had moved back up to the Midwest. And they said, y'all ought to come on by and hear him. She got enough invitations where she thought, I can imagine her now saying, Charles, we are going. I cannot imagine her saying, honey, would you like to go? Everything I've read and researched on Sister Myrtle, she was assertive in a kind sort of way. So they went to hear this metaphysician, Reverend E.B. Weeks, who was known to be a healer. And the way he talked about healing and prayer, it is now and was then. It starts within. See, source is not flying around out there in the clouds. If you want to look at the sky and appreciate it when you pray, go on, do it. If you want to bow your head when you pray, it's all right, do it. If you want to stand up and do a happy dance, which I do sometimes, have no rhythm, but I don't care, I do it. But what I know for sure that I didn't know 30 years ago is the Spirit of the Lord, the Spirit of God, the Spirit of Jehovah Jireh, the Spirit of Christ consciousness, the Spirit of that higher being that Maya Angelou just calls all, resides in me. Myrtle learned that. And not only did she learn that, she started practicing the presence. She started doing affirmative prayer, giving thanks and gratitude for the blessings of her life, giving thanks and gratitude for the light that dwelled within, giving thanks and gratitude for the source that was in her, that is in you, that is in every creature that roams this planet. There is the source. And I say every creature that roams the planet. Have you ever looked at your dog and looked in your dog's eyes or your cat's eyes and saw something magnificent, something glorious? That spirit shining through. And in their way, I do declare, they're saying, I love you too. Sister Myrtle knew this. Sister Myrtle embraced this. So she set about doing affirmative prayer every day. She set about blessing her liver and thanking it for its existence. She set about thanking her intestines. She set about thanking her lungs and her heart. She set about thanking her limbs. And something else that she did during this affirmative prayer is the F word. Forgiveness. Oh, y'all thought I was going somewhere else. Oja. Forgiveness. And who did she forgive? She forgave herself for condemning herself, for condemning her condition, for being mad at her condition. And see, I can relate to that. Been there, done that. But oh, happy day when you wake up. And she woke up. She became enlightened in affirmative prayer, and she did it every day. And every day got a little bit better, and she prayed and she prayed and she prayed. And people started seeing differences in how Myrtle was behaving, how she was walking, how she was interacting. Brother Charles said, I think you got something there, because, baby, we having some financial problems up in here. And he started doing the same thing, and there was a shift that came. See, when you're praying together, even praying apart, but we're all praying, there's a vibration that raises and rises, and we can feel it. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? So the financial troubles dissipated. 2 years later, Sister Myrtle no longer had tuberculosis. She no longer had the stomach issues, but she continued to pray. And folks came to her and said, Sister friend, what you doing? How you doing that? And they wrote letters to her. And Sister Myrtle would write letters back to them, affirming that you're whole, perfect, and complete, affirming that source is within you, affirming Jehovah Jireh, your provider, is here, affirming for herself and for the one and the ones and the hundreds and thousands of ones that each and every one of us are children of the universe. Amen. We are children of God, and God made us wonderfully well. You see, she believed that, and I believe it too. Because I believe it because I know it. You can study all you want about different religions in a book. You can read all the biographies and the autobiographies in a book of people who said, I've been healed. But until you decide, God, remember the book, Dear God, It's Me, Margaret? She didn't have to tell it, or her. But until you decide, like that old song goes, that old spiritual song that Reverend Cleveland's Dandridge wrote called Have a Little Talk with Jesus. You're nodding your head, brother. You know what I'm talking about. They said the Oak Ridge boys wrote it, but they didn't. Oh, do your homework. So, have a little talk with Jesus. Have a little talk with Spirit. What Sister Myrtle called it was Christ consciousness. I can do all if I know and believe the source. The Christ consciousness is my consciousness. She used what she called her God mind to help heal others and help others heal themselves. See, you gotta change your thinking to change your life. You know, some people call it stinking thinking. I kind of like that. But when you're condemning yourself, when your woe is me, when you feel down and out, I invite you to wallow in it for a little bit if that's what you want to do. Been there, done that. But when you see that light, it's time to get back up again. And as Donnie McClurkin said, it's time to stand in the truth of not only who you are, but the truth of whose you are. You see, Sister Myrtle once said, oh, it was so much fun going back and reading her letters, many of them. Oh, truth, unity, amen. But something that she liked was Psalm 139, 13, 14, where it says, for it was you who created my inward parts. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I will praise you because I have been respectfully and wonderfully made. Now, in the Hebrew Bible, it says fearfully. That was an interpretation. God does not want his or her children to fear him or her. God made us with love, respect, and the image of light with a God mind. But sometimes in this reiteration of ourselves, we forget that we are simply spirits having a human experience. We are in these space suits. When I come here, when I'm at CSLGC, I walk around and I see all of you in your spacesuits. And I look beyond and see your light. You all are shining very bright right now. Donny Hathaway and Roberta Flack used to sing a song called Where is the Love? It's right here. It's in you. So I invite you, as Romans 12:2 says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's one of Unity's favorite Bible verses. Because what it's saying there is to change the way you think and think with your God mind. We have the power to heal. I've seen it. I've lived it. We have that power to heal ourselves, but let me be real with you. We have the power, and consciously praying, collectively praying no matter where we are, to heal our planet. And for God's sake, to heal our young people. When I think about prayer, I saw Sister Frazier going to do what she does when we live stream. And I said, you know, there were 2 more murders yesterday. Yes, pray. But we must move our feet because these are young people that we are losing. And though they don't belong to us, they are us. They are part of this planet. And I believe that Reverend Sister Myrtle and Reverend Brother Charles Fillmore would want us to pray for the renewing of their minds, for the healing of their hearts. And I invite you, when you're praying for your healing, pray for our young people. Pray for our country. Pray for our universe. Pray that hunger no longer is a problem. Pray that we have a gracious plenty. Pray that housing is there for everyone. Pray that everyone is clothed. Pray that everyone that needs medicine gets it. Pray that everyone needs a doctor doesn't have to say, this is my card, I have insurance. That they can show up somewhere and someone will say, how may I help you? Because that's what Sister Myrtle did. She prayed for those who asked and those who didn't. She just prayed. And I invite you to simply just pray. In closing, I want to read a quote, words from one of her letters from 1936. But before I do that, I want to tell you, Silent Unity is there for you. She started that. If you need somebody to pray with you, they are there. Call them. Go on Facebook at noon. You'll get connected. They do it live. Listen to the playback. Call on your chaplains. Chaplains who are here, stand up. Please stand up if you're here and you're a chaplain. Stand up. Go to your chaplain and say, I need prayer. Because as the other song goes, I need thee every hour. Oh, gracious God, I need thee. So please do that. And I quote, it is not enough to pray. Prayer is one step that you take, but you need other steps. You need to think of God, the all-powerful healer, as being already within you. Every part of your mind, every part of your heart, every part of your body. To keep one's attention and prayers in the spiritual realm of mind without letting them work on out into the soul's expression and into the actual physical doing of that which corresponds with what the mind and heart have thought, spoken, and prayed is to court trouble. In other words, she's saying, when you pray and you're still thinking with the stinking thinking, you kind of negate things there. Y'all hear me? She's saying keep your heart, mind, and body in harmony. To keep declaring love, power, life, and substance, and yet unconsciously assuming limitations and living them will cause explosions and congestion that work out in the physical. How many of you allowed yourself to get so stressed you had a headache? You just didn't know where that came from. But it works if you work it, if you stop. I know. And you breathe, and you just say, peace, be still. You will feel so much better. But I'm not talking about taking a wimping breath. I'm talking about taking a deep, cleansing breath to feel that essence of God flowing in you from your toes to your hair, to your head, everything. Peace, be still. God is my source that dwells within. We need to harmonize our thinking and our prayers with actual living experience. It is the God in the midst of us that frees and heals. Let me say that one more time. It is the God in the midst of us that frees and heals. Do y'all receive that today? If you receive it today, say yes. All right now. And so it is. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, JJ. Thank you for being with us, reminding us who we are and the power of prayer. Lovely.
People hurting, people broken, beaten down and feeling hopeless. Wonder if it's gonna always be this way. We'll speak up for the captive, show some love and heal the past. Pains and wounds we think will never go away. But what if we could be a people on our knees as one before the King? 'Cause we believe. Hey, all the world starts changing when the church starts praying. Strongholds start to break. Oh, when we pray, prison walls start falling at the sound of praising. Nothing stays the same. Oh, when we pray. Oh, when we pray. Oh, I see revival rising. I see hope on the horizon as a generation stepping out in faith. Because we will be a people on our knees as one before the King. 'Cause we believe. Hey, all the world starts changing when the church starts praying. Strongholds start to break. Oh, when we pray, prison walls start shaking at the sound of praising. Nothing stays the same. Oh, when we pray. Oh, when we pray. Oh, let your kingdom come, Lord. Let your will be done. Hey. all the world starts changing. When the church starts praying, strongholds start to break. Oh, when we pray, all the world starts changing. When the church starts praying, strongholds start to break. Oh, when we pray, prison walls start shaking. At the sound of praising, nothing stays the same. Oh, when we pray. 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 Ooh. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's that time in our service where we bless our tithes and our offering, and we say our offertory statement together. If you'll say it with me. Divine love, moving in and through me, blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I receive. Our chaplains on duty today are Susanna Whitprop and Lauren Watson, and they'll be over at the prayer shawl to pray with you today. Also, if you have a prayer request, there are prayer request cards on the back of the pews that you can complete and drop in the prayer basket in the prayer box in the back, or in the offertory box as it's coming forward. Also, you can call our center at 513-961-2527 and leave a prayer request there.
We'd like to thank everybody that brought this service together. Thank you, JJ. It's been a pleasure as always.
Yes.
Thank you, Jean, for singing with us.
Yes.
Thank you, Michael, for stepping up for David, and Peg, and the fabulous Mark O'Keefe, and Randy Winters.
Kim Ballou in the back.
And thank you, Kim.
The tech team, all 7 of them.
Yes.
Want to bless the
We're going to now bless the.
Listen here now. Hold on. Let me do this David thing without the curly hair. These are posts from the Facebook page. People watching. Randy sends his love from Roselawn. Rec is joining us from Boca Raton, Florida.
Woohoo!
Oh. Barb says, it's fantastic to see Kim return to the platform.
Yes.
Nicely
Yes.
put. James says, good morning from Kennedy Heights. And Brenda responds to the Lord's Prayer with beautiful.
Yes. Let us pray. Divine Spirit, Mother, Father God, giving thanks for the bounty, giving thanks for the tithes, giving thanks for those who have given to us online, giving thanks for knowing that our tithes, your tithes, are put to great work here. Giving thanks, knowing, absolutely knowing that it is all good because it is all God. Thank you.
Amen. And now, as you can stand, please, while we say our prayer for protection and sing our peace song. If you're comfortable holding hands, we can gather around and make a circle around the sanctuary. I hope you all enjoy this beautiful day God has blessed us with. If you're a Bengals fan, enjoy the game. And our prayer for protection is, the light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is. and all is well. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God our Creator, children all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous love. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with How the world starts changing when the church starts praying. Strongholds start to break. Oh, when we pray, prison walls start shaking at the sound of praising. Nothing stays the same. Oh,